Invincible time again? Let's bust out the old intro again then. Oh, I love that. So, Invincible Season 3 just dropped 3 random episodes, probably 4 by the time this comes out, and I gotta say, it hasn't been this good since Season 1. My favorite episode of the show, other than the whole Omni-Man vs. Mark episode, has to go to episode 2 of Season 3, called The Deal with the Devil. Cecil takes center stage in this one, and delivers one of the most hard-hitting character moments I've ever seen in animation. Walton Goggins totally killed it with the voice acting, man. It's insane.
Go home, Mark, before you do something you'll regret.
I've always liked that dude.
I'm the new sheriff.
Poor shit.
But I don't want to ramble on about this for 25 minutes like everyone else. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of Cecil and Mark's arguments to see who was truly right on this topic. I thought it was obvious myself until I found the reliable crowd of Cecil haters on social media and realized this was a bit more debatable than I thought. Spoilers ahead, obviously. Why don't we start with the basics?
Mark's argument.
So Mark got into a fight with the seismic guy and basically gets his ass handed to him along with Eve and every other superhero there is. Miraculously, Darkwing and D.A. Sinclair's Reaniman fighters show up to save the day. And save the day they do. But these are the people who experimented on Mark's friend Rick and basically took his whole body apart before Cecil's agency put him back together.
I've died 39 times so far.
Man, I love the whole brain reconstruction thing in sci-fi stuff. Reminds me of that one band TMNT 2003 episode, Insane in the Membrane. Bobby Hill, I mean Donald's character, is one of my favorites too, by the way. Such good writing. Anyway, these guys who obviously murdered people and did terrible things against Invincible in the past are now hired by Cecil to fight on the good guys' behalf. So does it really make them good guys if they hire their enemies to work for them under some kind of rehab excuse? This is even solidified when Cecil appoints Darkwing to the Guardians, when they are stretched thin of members in the next episode. This makes Mark furious, as he goes into the White Room with Cecil and is confronted by hundreds of Reanimen who attack him. As he charges towards Cecil, Cecil activates the sound piece implanted deep in Mark's brain that absolutely subdues him. So from Mark's point of view, Cecil's hired a murderer, someone who personally affected Mark on top of that, with bots who have fought Mark in the past, and is now using them alongside a hidden whistle in his earlobe to fight against Mark. Why would Cecil do this? What gives him the right?
Cecil's argument.
First of all, let's get one thing straight. Mark got his ass saved by those guys when they fought Seismic. Who knows what would have happened? What with Eve being unconscious and every other superhero being trapped in those Ben 10 Limax pods that Heat Blast took down? So for starters, Cecil was right in recruiting at least someone to help out. Second, Mark is in no position to lecture anyone about giving murderers second chances, including his own father, Omni-Man, who, if we're forgetting, literally did this. And his brother in literally the next episode. Not to mention himself, with that crazy brain guy. Maybe he wasn't malicious in that murder, but Omni-Man definitely was. And how many episodes did it take before Mark forgave him?
You're a hypocrite, waltzing off to help your mass-murdering dad. But God forbid anyone else screws up, and then tries to make good.
The White Room scene had Mark totally flanderized and childish, constantly exaggerating and playing high moral ground when he has literally no leg to stand on in that department. For Cecil, pragmatism takes precedence over sentimentalism, and if protecting Earth from threats is the mission, he should and would take any measures to stop it. He already had one Viltrumite nearly destroy Earth, he doesn't need his son doing the same. So the whole ear chip thing is totally understandable. I'm surprised he didn't do more. Mark is naive, not only to the threats posed by bad guys like Seismic who need to be stopped, but also his own threat, which he actually uses against Cecil after almost seemingly nothing is said in the White Room. Or should I say Red Room? God, I love that transition. The shade of red is totally, chef's kiss. Cecil worries for his own safety, and Mark proved that he had a good reason to. On top of that, Darkwing or anyone else he hires has undergone psychological reprogramming, at least if we believe him, to the point of being empty vessels just doing good. Getting any labor out of them is definitely a better use of human capital than sticking them in solitary confinement. Look where that got them with Seismic.
Deeper things.
Cecil's backstory in episode 2 was intentionally placed there to reveal, admittedly quite non-subtly, although still appreciated, that the duo he stopped from spreading the poison gas later saved him and the director in a later mission. He still shot them both. He used to have principles. Then he became the director and told Donald that all too famous line, "We can be the good guys, or we can be the guys to save the world. We can't be both." And I think that's exactly the point. His own principles were subverted and hypocrisized. Is that a word? It is now. Hypocrisized. And after he meets Omni-Man, and we see all that leads up to his present-day self, you can see a double standard for fair justice that begins to reveal the unidealistic but sad truth about the world, and the prioritization of human life in defense above all else, including fairness. I mean, if the show Invincible is about one thing, it's about second chances. We see that when Omni-Man reminisces to Mark's childhood during Season 1, we see that when Mark forgives him in Season 2, and we see that in Cecil here. Who knows, maybe maybe Oliver will take over season 3 in the upcoming episodes, but Cecil's forgiveness is not something that should be seen as hypocrisy. It literally saved Mark's butt, for God's sake. Is everyone a hypocrite? Yes, but you can either be a good guy or save the world. You can't be both. Cecil's downfall in my eyes, and the reason this debate is even close to 50-50 instead of like 85-15, is that he lacked clear communication in the fight scene in Guardian HQ.
I'd like to hear what Invincible has to say.
This isn't a democracy, Bulletproof. You're coming back to the GDA with me.
Not a democracy, but you want them to fight for you, bro? Cecil's lack of empathy is clear from the start. I mean, just look at Donald. Bro literally died 39 times saving lives for Cecil. These guys have priorities above Mark's feelings, above moral virtue, above lacking double standards or hypocrisy. He sees Mark as just another Nolan waiting to happen, and I can't say I blame him for that. The Earth is at stake, and I totally commend Cecil for taking the necessary precautions to protect it. He's kinda like 2003 TMNT Bishop without the whole god complex. Well, maybe a little bit. It is kinda epic though, how Mark not holding back and fighting the Reanimant had the exact same moves as Omni-Men killing the Guardians. It was even the same room.
I'm a good liar. I'm a very good liar.
Good liar, huh? You think he even got Rex's arm programmed with a bug that doesn't let him touch Cecil? By the way, I gotta say, that gas poison scene in the peeling skin was so similar to the ending of that new Netflix movie, Carry On. And it made me think, if Cecil was ever in live action, a white-haired Jason Bateman would do a hell of a job in terms of casting. Anyway, season 3 of Invincible is off to a hell of a start, and I wish they'd just release a season like everyone else for a change instead of just playing games with 3 episodes here, 5 episodes there. Let me know your thoughts on the Cecil versus Invincible debate in the comments below, and don't hold back, I love hearing both sides of this whole thing. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe with the bell on to check me out next time I upload. I'll see you guys in the next one.